Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Awesome, dude. Free game. Welcome. That's hilarious. Yeah, it's been way too long since I last saw you. I think the last project we did was it wasn't Ketu, was it?
I think it was. Then
There's
when we
no
did
way, bro.
we did 3 music videos in 2 days, and then we
Yeah,
did that insane rain scene, which was
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was my first time ADing.
really.
Yeah, Gabe calls me up 2 nights before at 3 in the morning and he goes, "Yo, I finally got an AD gig for you." And I'm like, "Okay." And he goes, "It's in 2 days and we're doing 3 videos in 48 hours." And I'm like, "Sounds like a plan." But dude, it went well. Do you remember the last shot of that video?
The last shot was when K2 got out the car, and we were like, okay, we're gonna get the epic rain scene. It was the wide. And I said, okay, it's time. It was like I think it was like 40 degrees. We're in the middle of the mountains,
Yeah.
and we're just turned on both.
We
We
have
had these
three
overhead
rain
sprinklers.
towers.
Yep,
Yeah, dude,
and it
and
was
it's raining.
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we were standing in the mud, and then yeah, we just went free fall, and you guys were running around trying to cover the camera, make sure I was good,
But you
and
don't
we got
remember
all.
what we did to get that shot? Dude, we had you in like the plastic bag.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we had the camera bag over me, and then we wrapped the
Yeah.
camera, and
Yep.
then I had my hoodie on, and then we took a solid. I meant to get an ultra bounce floppy, but I told you guys to grab a
Who do you
solid.
think held that solid? It was
That
me,
was you
bro.
and Max. You and Max.
It was us under the rain,
Yeah, and
just
the hunter
covering
was
you, bro.
the mud fog. That was amazing too.
Yeah. It was a cool
Yeah,
video, bro. That was a good time.
that was an amazing time.
Yeah.
That was
It's been crazy. I haven't, dude, time is flying, bro.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy. Do you want me to just get started with like the bucket of questions I have?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
I'm just gonna start off with some quick ones, just some lightning round ones. Do you have a favorite lens set?
Yes. Hook S4s. Those are my favorite. Those
you
are
post,
by
you've
far my
posted
favorite.
about those so much, dude.
If I could choose
Um,
one, it would be that set. And then they're technically the same, but the S5s, but just a little sharper.
okay. Do you have a favorite focal
Yeah.
length?
I'll say a 40.
A 40. Have you
Yeah, I
ever
love.
used the Helios 44 twos, I think? Is that what they're called?
Yes. I had actually ordered some a few years back from Ukraine,
No
and I had
way,
the
dude.
I think I had the 44.6
Are
for
you,
my XT3. It was amazing.
why do you say you had it? Did you sell it?
Yeah, I did. I sold it.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You prefer being on location or soundstage?
That's a good question. I'll say location.
How come?
Everything's authentic. You know, you get there, you arrive, and you just build off of
Yeah.
what's already there. I think soundstage, there's a lot of complications that come with it, but at the end of the day, it's like there's nothing like being on an actual location.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
my opinion. Would you like
yeah.
operating? Would you rather hire a camera operator?
I love operating. I have to
Yeah.
operate. There's just
Good.
certain things that you see and feel, and it's just like trying to explain that to someone. Like, hey, can you move a little bit right? Can you move? It's just
Yeah.
too mechanical, you know?
Yeah. No, I was at a panel recently with a bunch of documentarian filmmakers, like documentary filmmakers, like
Yeah.
a bunch of DPs who transitioned from documentaries to features. Sorry.
Right.
And they were all asked if they like to operate. And one guy said he did one movie where he didn't operate, and he said it's the most boring 4 months of his life, where he's
Yeah.
where he's just like
Yeah.
telling people what to do.
Yeah.
Best piece of advice you ever got?
Keep going. Don't give up. Because if you
Worst
look
piece of
back,
advice? Oh wait, never mind. I cut you off.
no,
Sorry,
you're
keep going.
good. No, but if you look back, you know, you'll see how far you came. So just keep going. Don't give up when times get hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worst piece of advice you ever got?
You shouldn't use tungsten. You should use
Okay.
LEDs.
Who told you that? All right, okay, okay, never mind. Okay.
Yeah.
What position was he? Was he a DP or is she a DP?
It was a producer.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you had to choose primes or zooms, I'm pretty sure I know what you say, but
Rhymes.
yeah. And do you have
Yeah.
like a dream collaboration or like a dream director to work with?
I would love to work with Dennis Villeneuve.
Bro, he's
I
my
would love.
favorite director, by the way. Like
Yes. I
actually,
mean, we talked about that. I think did you meet him?
I met him twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
lucky, dude. I went to a talk that he had in LA, and then
Mhm.
at the end of it, the parking was downstairs, but for some reason my friend wanted to get some fresh air. So we just
Yeah.
go up on the sidewalk and he's just standing next to us,
Right.
just
Wow.
waiting for his car. And then we start chatting with him. And then Hans Zimmer walks out.
Oh, that's
And I,
amazing.
yeah, dude. And I asked Denis a question. I asked him, like, when you're working on a project for so long, it's easy to like get depressed about it or lose faith in it and stuff like that, especially when it reaches like, when you work on features of that level, you work for like 2 years nonstop, you know?
Right.
And I was like, how
Yeah.
do you keep going and how do you keep your faith? And he just kept thinking of a question, of an answer. And then Hans walks out and like immediately just says, just, what did he say? Just release it and beg the audience for forgiveness. And
Oh, that's a
I
good,
think
that's good
I think
advice.
that's the
Yeah.
best advice I ever got, dude. Honestly.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I was lucky enough to meet him twice. But like, all right, now we're gonna start like actual questions I wrote for like 2 hours, bro. What got you into cinematography? How'd you get your start? Like, what made you do this?
Um, it's funny. I actually didn't know what cinematography was when I started out. I actually just wanted to be a director, and then I
Okay,
eventually became a PA on a feature that I was on for like 3 months. And I was like, well, this is really cool, and I got to learn all the departments. And I remember the one of the gaffers came up to me, and he just saw me standing there. He said, "I'm gonna teach you everything you need to know, but just let me know it's too much, and I'll stop." And I knew if I ever told him like this is too much, that'll be my opportunity to be gone
yeah,
to learn about everything about this industry, as far as the tools and the mechanisms and everything.
yeah.
And from there, I went on to actually become a grip with this crew, and we crewed together for 3 years straight. And I
Whoa, okay,
think 2020 had came up, and the pandemic happened, and we all went our own ways. And I started gaffing a lot more because I was gaffing too. I was doing like student films and smaller projects.
yeah.
And then I think that's when around the time before I met you, I was gaffing for Gabe a lot.
I'm pretty
And
sure
I,
I met you as a gaffer.
yeah, I was, yeah. And
Probably.
I was, I was creatively frustrated because
Okay,
I saw things that I wanted to do,
yeah.
but
You weren't in the
I
position to
wasn't,
make them
I
happen.
wasn't in that position to make those decisions. I just had to do what the person I was assisting.
Yeah.
So I went to Gabe and I said, hey, I don't want to gaff with you guys anymore. I want to actually DP for you. And then that's when we came up with the show me something, and we ended
Oh,
up doing
okay.
that. And
That's
and
hilarious, dude.
they was like, whoa. After that, they was like, okay, you're our guy.
Show Me
And I
Something
fucked
looked
with it.
awesome, bro.
Yes, it was amazing. It was an amazing experience working with Boz and Malik. Oh,
Oh
great, great.
yeah, we got that picture too with the whole camera crew.
Yeah,
I
yeah. You
remember that.
still have it.
It's on my Instagram. You want me to send it to you?
Yeah, please send it to me. I lost it.
Oh no way, dude. Yeah, I'll send it over. He was a cool guy, man. It was a cool shoot. I remember we had the
Yes.
drone. The drone shot was
Mhm.
crazy. We all had to like
Yeah.
duck down in the apartment and like with
Yeah.
the radio tell him when the drone was coming so that they could pose and stuff. Um,
My favorite shot from that was when it came out the window and it revealed LA, and I was like, whoa, like we've never seen LA in that perspective ever.
yeah, that's a
And I
sick
was like,
shot. Speaking of the LA skyline, you have a
yeah.
shot in the Risktakers that I want to ask
Oh,
you about, where
uh-huh.
you see the LA skyline at like sunset or like blue hour, and
Yeah.
we pan over, and our three characters sort of walk into the shadow, like under the horizon.
Uh-huh.
Is that inspired by anything specific?
Yeah, so the director came to me. He was like, "Listen, I know you're the African American and Roger Deakins," and I looked at him. I said, I'm Cortlin Barrow." He's like, "Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right." He's like, he said, "This will make me extremely happy. I know you don't like copying other filmmakers, but this will make me extremely happy if you get this shot." I said, "Easy peasy. I can do it." He's like, "Really?" He's like, "What do you need? Just give me the space, and I got you." And he's like, "Okay." So I was talking to Maxine, the AD. I said I needed to be because we had planned the shot out for that whole scene. I said I need to be at this place at this time,
Yeah,
and I need to make sure I have full controllability. She's like, okay. And I did some magic work that I learned on the K2 shoot,
yeah.
and we got that shot, and it did it everything in camera. The colors, everything was in camera.
What was the magic you learned on K2 that transferred over?
The sunset when we were looking out on the ocean, and he was silhouette. and I
Yeah.
discovered something I could do with the camera that was like, I was like, oh, and forever that's like my new signature as far as how I expose the background for a sky, but also how to apply the color through the camera. And I think that was so amazing.
And can you share that or no?
I
All
want to
right.
keep that.
It's called
That's
free
gonna
game,
be
but whatever. I mean, if it's your signature move, I'm not gonna ask you to like give
yeah,
it
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Um, was there a particular film or DP that inspired you in the beginning? Like the most?
Yes, I think I would say the two is Bradford Young and Roger Deakins. Bradford
Okay.
Young for the way he brought himself into a story. Like he didn't pick a story if he didn't feel it. If he didn't feel like he can put himself into it, he didn't want to take it. And Roger, it's like his overall view of things, like his philosophies, and he stuck to his philosophies. And the people that picked him were the right people for him. And it also taught me about being patient and not saying yes to every project. I think that's the most important because you don't want to get on a project and you're like, oh, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there like because I wanted to ask you this, like how important is it for you to not relate to the script, but to understand the story when it comes to shooting a film? Like you just said, if you can't apply yourself, you don't do it. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. To answer the first part, it's important for me to understand the story and relate to the story, but also I have to be able to see myself in that story. I have to be able to relate and say, okay, I can give a little bit of myself. I can put my perspective on how I see this film, even though I have other collaborators that says this is how I want the film to look and this is how I want it to
Yeah.
go. I still see it in a different light when I'm reading the script. And I think that's the most important thing too when you're collaborating.
But how does that
Having
affect? Yeah, okay.
yeah, yeah.
So that just affects the overall look, your personal relation to the story?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's the way I see the world. Before I even have that conversation with the directors or the producers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think it's important for a DP to have a lot of life experience? I know this is more
Absolutely.
for directors, but
Absolutely. I think it's very important to go out and see the world.
how does that
See
shape
how
you as a DP?
it shapes me amazingly. Like I can light anything because I look at the world, I look at how the light comes in on me. I just see how the light plays off around the universe that I live in. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that inspires me. Or I look at paintings. I love Russian paintings or Dutch paintings, specifically oil paintings.
How come?
They're so beautiful. They're so realistic.
And do you
It's
draw inspiration
majestic.
from those for your work?
Not recently, not recently, but I
Okay.
think in the future, 100% will.
How come that's like a time thing? How come that's like
It's something I discovered, you know. At first, I was like just experimenting and
okay.
playing with a lot of things,
Was there
seeing
any
what I can.
specific artist that like inspired you the most? Or you like tried to draw from the most?
I would say Gregory Crutzen.
Bro, Larry
Yeah,
Sher told me the same thing.
really.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
not kidding.
Gregory
That's the only
Crutzen.
reason I know that name.
Yeah,
That's
Gregory
funny.
Crutzen.
That's the
Yeah,
second time I ever heard that name. Okay.
and it's crazy. I discovered Gregory Crutzen just going down the rabbit hole on YouTube one night at 3 a.m. And I
What was the
found this
rabbit hole?
YouTube. I found this. I was just looking at paintings on Pinterest.
Okay.
That's the thing that I love to do. And then I click on the YouTube channel and it takes me to a YouTube channel and it has a collage of all his work. And I was so like memorized. I was like, whoa, that's amazing.
That's cool,
And
dude.
then I found other photographers. And I'm like, I'm gonna send you that too, actually. That's a
Yeah, if you
hidden
could, dude,
gem.
that would be. Do I also get the link to your hidden YouTube channel or no?
You know, I gotta find the
Oh,
login.
okay. I have one too, by the way. I used to make
Really?
those stupid gaming videos, yeah. Yeah, but like
Wow.
mine were like aggressively dumb, like on purpose or something. I was a
Uh-huh.
teenager, bro, like whatever. Um, you mentioned something about when I was asking you about the risk takers. It was when the director was telling you like he said you don't like to like imitate shots. Is
Yeah.
that something you try not to do at all? Like,
Yeah. I try to not copy other filmmakers because it's like that is meant for that story. And our
okay.
story is meant to have its own character and its own personality. And I think, in my personal opinion, if you're trying to grab too much inspiration from all these other films,
Mm.
it won't really be your film anymore. It won't have its own personality from those collaborators that spent hours prepping and trying to like articulate what they're trying to say through this story.
Villeneuve said something similar when they were asking him about like the first movie he felt like he actually shot. I think it was Incendie. He said it's like the first time that he felt all of like the ghosts of cinema history leave him alone. Because you know, in
Yeah,
your head, you're going, "What would this person do? What would this person? This person would do it that way." And he said, like,
right.
it's the first time I just relaxed into myself and just like made my own decisions.
Yeah,
But like, even in the case of that specific shot for the Risk Takers, do you like to pay tribute to like other, like give a nod or like not even like in the slightest?
I do. My silhouettes, my
Okay.
silhouettes come from, in a way. I think I made them my own in certain to a certain degree, but Roger Deakins silhouettes just speaks volume.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. In the darkness, like playing with darkness is like another tribute to Bradford Young. So I
Yeah.
try to balance those two because those two are on a different scale when it comes to how they make their images. But I try to
Uh-huh.
balance that and add that and make it more realistic and immersive.
That's dope, dude. Is there a favorite film or shot you have from either of those guys that sticks out?
Yeah. My favorite film of all times, Revolutionary Road.
Oh, no
Sam
joke.
Mendes and Roger Deakins. I think that's one of the most beautiful all around made films.
Yeah.
It's so true to life. It's amazing.
And for Bradford?
Bradford,
Is there like a specific shot that just you just sleeps in your head? Because I have one. Like it just never leaves me alone. Have you watched Blade Runner 2049?
absolutely. Yeah.
The opening shot of Kay in the car where you see him sleeping and you just see him blurry over the shoulder. Do you
Hmm.
remember that? I don't know
Yes,
why.
absolutely.
That's my Roman whatever, Roman Empire, whatever. That shot doesn't leave me
That's a
alone, dude.
beautiful shot. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
incredible.
I love that shot,
Um,
dude.
I'll say for Bradford, it's Arrival.
It's what?
Arrival,
Oh,
Arrival.
Arrival. Yeah.
Yes, and I think my favorite shot is with the baby. She's holding the baby. He has a close ups and it's this beautiful soft light, but it's
Yeah.
so dark, but you can see what's inside the dark. I was like, that feels like I'm seeing that through a human's eye. That's amazing. Because I didn't feel like I was watching a movie. I felt like I was
Looking.
there, a part of an experience. Yeah,
That's crazy. Is that something you aspire to do through your visuals or
absolutely.
well, I
Immerse
mean
the
when you get the
audience.
chance to?
Yeah, yeah,
So when you're going through stuff like that and then you shoot something like Sink or Sin, because Sink or Sin is like literally a TV show.
yeah.
Like in the world, we're like seeing it through like the camera operators, you know.
Right.
How do you like balance in that film specifically, how did you balance like how do I say this? Like choosing when to serve that and then choosing when to serve the story with your shots. Because I know we go into close-ups later and it kind of loses control as the story goes
Mhm.
on. But
Yeah.
like, did you have this idea of like I'll start fully as a TV show and then we'll pivot more into sort of like behind the scenes, or how was that for you?
That was actually Jason Sanchez. That was his idea. He wanted to feel like a TV show, but then when we break this wall, we go into handheld and it's like behind the scenes, like someone is just like capturing everything that's going on in the game show. Um, there was a part of me because I had never really shot a film like this. It was supposed
Okay.
to be multicam, but I was like, I think we should just do the single cam just based off of you want to be very intimate and they didn't want to rush it and you wanted to be very specific with the shots. So we agreed. And I was fighting myself a lot on that project.
How
So I'm so used to
come?
shooting I was so used to shooting a lot of things that were dark. But
Okay.
I love films from like the 90s and early 2000s on having that balance. But I think the hardest thing right now for digital is like you can't have too much light, but then you can't have too little light. And it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
this is the game show that takes place in the 70s. So I was just like, alrighty, this is what I'm gonna do. And I was like, hey, production, I'm gonna need a little bit more money. And I promise I won't have to adjust any lights. You just got to give me everything I need. I was like, okay. So I took 22Ks in the ceiling, 5 feet apart. And I sat down with my gaffer and key grip. And I was like, this is exactly what I need. And I need this much diffusion and this amount of CTO. No, CTB actually. I think I put a quarter CTB on all those lights. And then I had a 40 by 40 thing, a quarter grid over the set. And I also talked to the production designer and the set construction team because they actually built that in Dallas. No, I'm sorry. San Antonio. I think it was San Antonio. No,
Somewhere in
Houston. I'm sorry.
Texas. Okay.
Somewhere in Texas,
Somewhere in
and they shipped
Texas.
it out here.
Oh,
And
no
I was like, I
kidding.
need this. Yeah, they drove it all the way from Texas to California. I was like, I need these walls to be 16 feet high, and I need this set to be this wide. And it's like, okay, we got you. And yeah, I was battling.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, and I had another five, like two 5Ks bouncing in some muslin, like a
Okay.
muslin ultra bounce combo, and then I had a 9 light maxi off onto the side, and think I had two of them going through this huge door. It was insane, but it was like, this is exactly what I want to do.
So wait,
I
you
felt it
said
in
you
my
never
element.
adjusted lights?
Never. Well, I did. So if I flipped on one side of
Yeah.
the world, I'll dim certain lights down, but I didn't have to move anything. I just turned around and turned off the top row, and that was it.
And for that final sequence where all the lights turn off and then only the orange hues from the backstage, bro, I love
Yeah,
that shot. That shot looked so
yeah,
good. Was that pre-planned or I mean, of course it was pre-planned, but like I didn't pay attention. Were those lights there the entire show? And you
yeah.
guys
Those
never
lights are
used them
there.
until that
No, they were
sequence?
on. So originally,
Oh, okay.
I wanted bulb lights, but the
Okay.
production designer came to me and was like, "Listen, it's gonna take a lot more time to design this because the construction team didn't build that in." It's like, how about I just give you LED strips? I was like, okay, cool. But throughout the show, you couldn't see it, but you could tell there was a little bit of light. And it's funny enough, that lighting cue actually happened on accident.
What do
we
you
had
mean?
an we had an old dimmer box for these tungstens that were from like 96, and MBS never rented them out because it's like been sitting there for a long time, and we went through three of them and they all blew out. So when you see those lights dim like that, it just cut off. So we just kept
You're
shooting.
kidding, bro.
And he was like, "All right, bring the dimmer box in," and it's like this huge tower. And after
Oh
the end of the
man.
shoot, we just put RIP on all of them. And then the MBS is like, "Yeah, you just cooked all our 2K dimmers that we had,"
You're
and it
kidding,
was like
bro.
it was so crazy, but it was worth it.
Wait, so you
Yeah,
got that in one take then?
one take. Yeah,
That's sick, dude. This is something I love asking all the DPs I meet. What's like the most important aspect of a relationship between a director and a DP?
it's so important. I I think of it like a brother and sisterhood. I always say like if you can't imagine yourself going on a road trip with that person, I don't think it's probably the best person to work with because you
Okay.
have to put up with them. I mean, there's gonna be times where you disagree, and there's gonna be times when you want to argue, and there's gonna be times where you're just gonna have to compromise. But I
Yeah.
think knowing each other and who you are and working together because it's gonna be chaotic and just understanding and fully trusting those collaborators is gonna make the best relationship. The best relationship.
And what's like the best thing you look for in a director?
That's a good question.
Like what's a green flag for you in like the talking phase if you want?
Someone that comes to me and says, I understand who you are, and you're the perfect person for this story. I'm going to allow you to do exactly what you need to do, but this is where I want to be at. And here's the start, and here's the finish. Get me everything in between, and I'll get you to the start, and I'll get you to the finish line. I said, okay. That's the
Has
best
that
thing because
happened
you
with
get
you?
apps all the time.
Okay.
Uh, producer and director I've worked with, they understand like he can do it, and I get them there every
So
time.
then how do you deal with it when like you show up for or if you get asked to work on a production and the director sort of already shortlisted everything and like and is maybe a little bit adamant on keeping his shortlist?
I typically don't work with those kind of people because
Okay.
it's like it's in an interview process. I let it be known like this is how I like to work, and I ask them how they like to work,
Okay.
and I have to be there with the director. Now there'll be times where you're on a commercial
Yeah.
and they'll have exactly what they want, but that's different. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
different.
different. No, no, we're not talking about that.
Yeah,
Also, you get paid on commercials. So
yeah. Yes, you do.
um yeah. What's the biggest red flag in a director?
Someone that doesn't want to compromise
Okay.
and listen to their crew and listen to their collaborators. They're very stuck in a way that
But
is
isn't there
not.
like a thin line between like sort of having a vision and just coming off as a person who's stubborn?
I'll say yes and no. I
Okay.
think there. I think you just have to have self-awareness. You got to understand the
Yeah.
situation. Can we do
Yeah.
this? If we can, and it's not gonna remove everything else that we're planning for, then we're good. Let's do it. But if it's like we're on the time crunch, we're losing money, we might do overtime.
Yeah.
Let's not
No,
do that
that's
this day.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, for sure.
yeah.
How much do you try to balance your vision with the director's vision, or are you serving just the script, or like, you know, because he has his own vision or she has their own vision for sure, and you come in with your vision, right?
Yeah.
So how much do you try to? Who wins the argument? That is
The
the
story.
script. Yeah.
This story. It's always a story. I always sit down with a director and we go through the whole script. And I say, what's the meaning behind this? Like, why are we doing this? And we'll talk about it. And it's like, okay, what if instead of saying this, we just show it? I
Mm-hmm.
think that's more important. And we really talk about it. We get down to it. Because sometimes they write things and be like, whoa, I didn't think of it in that perspective. And I'm like, yeah. But I'm never right. The director's never right. The story is right.
Yeah.
The story will always tell you what it wants.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
And how do you like to approach developing like the visual language of a film? Where do you start?
I start by reading the script when I first get it. I'll read it about 3 times.
Okay.
I'll jot down my notes. You know, a lot of filmmakers that I look up to, they say, "Well, I try to read the script without looking at it visually, but I don't know how they do that. I try. I think that's a superpower if you can do that." And I
They
just
try to
start creating a
read it
lookbook,
without seeing it.
like thinking of like the creative visual look,
They
like oh
just
how
read
it's
it
gonna look.
without. That's
But yeah,
crazy.
I was like, I don't know how you do
That's
that. That's
crazy.
insane.
Yeah, okay.
And you always visualize a shot like, oh, that close up, or this will be
I mean,
silhouette
if
or
you're reading a
wide.
book, you have fun by visualizing
Yeah,
everything,
yeah,
right? But yeah,
yeah.
sorry, go on. You were saying.
But no, I always create a lookbook,
Okay.
and I just try to visualize like, oh, this is how I see the world. And then I'll go back and read it a second time with that lookbook in mind. And then
Yeah.
I'll go and adjust it based off, okay, what's realistic, and then I'll present that when I have my next meeting with the director and the producer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you mentioned there was that shot in Arrival that kind of messed with your head a little bit. The one where you kind of feel like you're seeing. Like I'm pretty sure that changed your your approach as a DP, right? Like I'm pretty sure that affected you.
Yeah.
Has there ever been like a memorable project or like relationship you had on set that also changed the way you work? I know Ketu was one of those moments where you just said like you kind of learned in that moment what you can
Mhm.
do. But was
Yeah.
there any other time, like any other project or collaboration that did that for you?
Yeah, I think I look back into the film Sirens that I recently worked on, and our generator caught on fire,
Okay.
and we lost three
Okay.
hours.
Oh
And
man.
I didn't tell anybody. I just told my gaffer and his team. I said, "Figure it out." We had a big star. I said, "Figure it out." And I said, "Listen, go in the truck, get me this." I had them give me a shiny board. I said, "Put this here, put a Joker up there, diffuse that." And I told the director, I said, all right, we're going to get everything we need. We don't have to cut nothing. And we were 3 hours behind. We ended up doing that scene and getting everything we needed. And it became a phenomenal scene. But I
That's
realized
crazy, dude.
you have to stay patient. Well, not you have to be patient. You have to stay calm and just believe. I've been
Yeah.
here before.
Yeah.
And that made me realize, like, whoa, we got something here. We got something
Can
here.
I leave this in or do I have to cut this out?
No, you can leave that in.
I
Yeah.
can leave it in, right?
100%. Yeah.
I'm sorry, because you kind of okay. What? How did it catch on fire? How does that happen, dude?
Well, let's just say we didn't get the right toe Jenny. It
Okay.
wasn't it wasn't really anybody's fault. I think we just got an old toe Jenny and we were putting an 18K, a 20K, T like I think a T12 on it. We had like a
Oh
lot of big
man.
lights and we struck it at once and it was a construction toe Jenny. It wasn't even a film toe Jenny. And it
Oh
was stuck
man.
in so it had three phase on it in single phase, but it was stuck in single phase. So my
Okay.
gaffer said, "We're just gonna risk it and let's just see." Man, we struck that 18K up. it was not having it. And then the 20K came up, and I was like, "Oh, that's a beautiful light." And all of a sudden, you just see, zoom. I was like, "Oh no, not right now." But then that's the thing. I had a backup plan because when I went and location scouted that location, I saw the sun path, and the sun path was going like this. So throughout the day in LA, it was landing on the west side. So I was like, okay,
Okay.
perfect. So we went to the dining room scene, then we went to the kitchen, and then we went to the opening by the front door. And by the time I got to the front door, the sun was on the other side, and it was beautiful. It was like this
That's dope,
golden
dude.
sunset, and it looked so natural.
Do you usually make plan Bs when you're
Absolutely,
working?
all the time, all the
Okay.
time.
You make
Yeah,
plan Bs, Cs, and Ds, or just Bs?
just bees, because I know my second plan is gonna work.
Okay.
I'm that confident. I know it's gonna work. Yeah.
Why do you always make plan Bs though? Is that just cautionary?
Yeah, that's just things happen. Accidents happen. You
Yeah.
know, you can just gotta be prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that, would you say that's like the most challenging shoot you've worked on, or like what was the most challenging shoot you've worked on?
Ooh. The most challenging shoot I would say I worked on was the K2.
Oh,
The
come
two
on.
music
Come
the three
on,
music
bro.
videos and two. No, seriously. That molded me into such a resilient DP. We we did so much incredible things in
Yeah,
those 2 days,
yeah,
and they all came out amazingly. And that was because the team came together
I agree.
and worked together. Yeah, that
And
was the
we
most
had
challenging.
every problem possible on those shoots.
Yeah, to
The
like
first
almost get it
location
kicked
was
out.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah,
There was no signal anywhere between location 1 and 2.
right.
We weren't supposed to be at location 2, you could say. Bro, it was insane. Yeah, I love that shoot so much. That's
Yeah,
definitely like one of the most memorable shoots I've ever had. Just
yeah,
because of the sheer amount of shit that happened in 48 hours. Like it's insane,
yeah,
dude. Um,
yeah.
how do you handle like difficult lighting conditions or like unpredictable environments or productions?
I'm a control freak. So
Okay.
I already know exactly what's gonna happen. Meaning, like, even if I set myself up to like say, once we place these lights, we'll never have to move them.
Mm,
I'm flagging everything. I'll see something like, okay, I like that. I'll replace it with artificial lighting. So I just plan, and then I just make sure that I put myself in the position to win and not waste time. Because I think the biggest thing that bothers me if I'm wasting the director and the actor's time, and I'm not giving them the floor to perform and execute what they need to do.
yeah, that's sick, dude. You said you'll see the lighting that you like and then replace it artificially.
Yes,
So that
absolutely.
so you like
Yeah.
to light put shit and leave them, huh?
Yeah, it's like to leave it. Because it's like it's perfect. I don't like to like turn around on one side and like, okay, hold on. Hey, I need like 20 minutes to move this
Yeah,
light. Like, no, because you don't get that in the real world. Wherever you
yeah.
turn at, that's where the sun's at. That's what you get.
Hold up, I just need the sun to go. Yeah,
You can't do that. So why should I do that on the set? And based off the story and what we're doing, I know exactly how the film is going to look. And then I just have to remember to keep that consistently if we do have to move those things. If
yeah.
we do. But a lot of times we don't have to move it.
Do you always shoot with like a specific LUT in mind, or?
Yeah. Yeah. Me and Ashton and Simon, Ashton Thomas and Simon. Simon was at Technicolor. Rest in peace, Technicolor. And then Ashton, you know Ashton Thomas, he's at Company 3. We designed this LUT.
I don't remember, but yeah.
We designed this LUT from scratch. And we've been doing this
Really?
for testing for like over since me and Ashton started. Because I didn't remember when Ashton started as a colorist and we just built it up. And even we're still adjusting it now. But that's all I use. I call it the secret sauce, and I call it TMC for the marathon continues sauce.
The marathon continues us?
Yes,
Because you
yes,
have
it's an
that in your bio
inspiration.
too, right? The marathon continues.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you see this as a sprint? I'm guessing you just see it as a marathon, huh?
I see it as a marathon. Every day I wish it is a sprint, but then if you sprint through it, you forget all the good moments like this.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, yeah.
How how have you been dealing? Has it been slow over on your end as well? Because I know here it's been slow in LA. It's been slow. You know.
Um, It's been slow. Yes, it has been slow. Me being a DP, I haven't really got called much, but I recently just did a commercial
Cool,
for a
dude.
beauty company. It's
Yeah.
gonna air on Fox, I think Monday.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Sick,
But
dude.
it's been really slow. I think when the strikes happen,
Yeah.
that's that's the most downtime I've ever had in my career, and I was
Yeah.
going through it.
Yeah. Me too, bro.
Yeah, I was
Me
going
too.
through
I moved to
it.
Dubai and started working in social media, bro. I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
Like I literally,
yeah.
you know. Um,
Mm.
yeah, I feel like the strikes was the beginning of the nosedive, and like we're slowly still kind of recovering
Yeah,
from that phase, which is crazy because it's been a while. And I know now in LA, the verticals are taking over.
yeah.
Can I hear your
UGC,
thoughts on verticals, bro?
you know,
Do you think you're talented enough to DP a vertical? This is the... I mean
yeah,
that with the
I
most
could do
sarcasm, and
anything.
I hope you get it. By the way,
No,
like,
I do. I was just thinking about because that's what I'm working for a marketing company right now, and we do nothing but
okay,
UGC. It's a lot of like vertical stuff.
yeah, but there's a
But I could,
difference between that and shooting a show vertically.
yeah, I wouldn't do it. I'm sorry.
Jesus,
My
dude, are
my
you
my
joking?
pride, my pride would get in
Yeah,
the way. I can't
no
do it.
way.
No, not at all. But
What's your
yeah.
opinion on all these verticals taking over?
Good luck. Good
Okay.
luck. Have fun. Collect the checks as much as you can, but good luck.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I don't want it's
Uh,
like it's have you ever seen that one meme where it's like you shoot a project, but you put the Duvetine over you, so you don't want to put your names in the credits? That's kind of how I would be. I'll
yeah.
just have an alias name.
Oh yeah. There
Yeah.
you go.
There you go.
Would you do it?
Bob Bodega. Yeah, I'll do it for the
I'm a dick. I mean, yeah, if it paid a lot of money, anybody would do
yeah,
it.
absolutely.
That like, because you said you like to keep lights, you like to put up lights and not move them a lot, which saves a lot of time. Did
Yeah.
you approach it that way when you were first starting out, or was that something you acquired along the way? And I ask you that because it sounds like that's something that would really help on lower budget productions. And when we all
Yeah.
start out, it's usually low budget. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's always been my philosophy, just learning from like some of the best gaffers and ski grips.
yeah, because those
Even
three
when I
years is on a grip crew probably
no,
shaped you as a
well,
DP, right?
even more. No, yeah, like I was on a in those 3 year spans, yes, but I was learning even before that. I would say 6 years down back, like coming out of high school.
Are you talking
But
straight G&E or
straight G&E or just being a PA too sometimes, just watching.
yeah?
But yeah, I've always had that philosophy. Place a light here and don't move it.
And I'm guessing that helped you out in the beginning, huh?
Yeah, I did, absolutely. And I love the light too. See, this is the thing. I light if we're shooting on film. It's a
Okay.
habit. It's really a habit. Sometimes I'm like,
Okay.
that's a little too much light, but I'll figure it out. I'll
What's
figure
your
it out.
opinion on like all this new like film emulation that they're putting on, like, the RE? I think the RE has it and the Sony has it, right?
Hmm.
Like, are you a fan of those or not really?
Yeah, because I mean, I use it in my LUTs. We have emulations. I just try to copy, not copy necessarily, but take inspiration from like some of the favorite Kodak stocks
Yeah,
and then apply that. But I like it to be very subtle,
yeah.
and I still like that digital look. But I think for me, that I struggle with the digital cameras is the highlights. The
Mm,
highlights are very easily you can blow them out, and I love to light. I love to throw big lights through the windows. But no, I think it's working. I think people will end up shooting on film again too.
yeah, dude. A lot of people are shooting on film
Yeah,
again, which is cool.
yeah.
What do you call it? The Complete Unknown was shot on like the Venice 2, and they
Hmm.
shot that at 12,800 ISO.
Oh man, whoa,
Yeah, because he
that's
wanted to shoot
insane.
it. He wanted to shoot it at like a way higher f-stop, so it can look like it was like a '70s film to respect that look more. So it's
Yeah,
funny because like in the behind the scenes, they're always talking about like how there were barely any lights on set.
yeah.
Like it was super dark. Is that something? Does that sound like something you'd like to do, or like just less light? Okay,
It would drive me
never
crazy.
mind. How come?
I
Why
would
would it drive
drive.
you crazy, dude?
It would just because I didn't. I feel like I'm not doing anything. I'm just letting the technology work for me. I like to be the sculptor of this. The
Well, you're still
of this
sculpting.
project. Yeah, but now you're letting the technology, you're gonna go window it down, you're gonna bring this window down. Like I'd rather just do that all on the day and shape my light and feel it. Like I want to be able to walk into a building, even if it's nighttime, and be like, whoa, that sunset's really cool. Wait, I did that.
Okay.
It's
All
like,
right.
yeah,
Fine.
that's cool. Yeah, like I did that.
That's hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
What skills do you think are most crucial for someone for a DP?
Oh, wow. Organization, listening, being a team player. And what I mean by that, like asking questions where you can actually listen to your collaborators and hear them out. Because I think we always have so many ideas
Mm-hmm.
and we want our ideas to work, but sometimes it's just not the time for that, you know? Um,
What do you mean by that?
Sometimes like you want to do a cool shot, but that cool shot might require a lot, or that cool shot doesn't make any sense for the story.
Yeah.
But you
Okay.
you might want to get it for your reel or
Yeah.
something. But yeah, I think that, and then also being kind to your crew, because your crew is gonna make you. They're
Mm.
gonna look out for you when your back is against the wall, and they're gonna take care of you. You take care of your crew, they take care of you. That's just simple as that. And I
Mm.
mean, I mean that literally, quite literally, making sure they get paid on time, making sure they get their meals on time, make sure they get home safe.
Yeah.
Not always calling them when you need to work. Call them and check up on them, see how they're doing. Go grab a drink.
Yeah.
Actually build that bond and that friendship because you're gonna need those people, not just for work, but for companionship. Yeah,
I couldn't agree more, dude.
yeah,
I feel like all the closest friends I've made since high school were all through work, because that's all
yeah,
we do, right? So,
absolutely, yeah.
um, how do you stay inspired and continue to grow, especially now that we have verticals and it's downtime and all that stuff? So, like, how does Cortlin Barrow stay inspired?
I just go on Pinterest. I go on Pinterest and I
Okay.
just create. I have so many collages. I can send that to you, and I just create different collages like dark fantasy
Mm.
paintings. I have one that's called Ezekiel. And it's from like the Bible, but it's like
Whoa.
all these oil paintings, and it's like everything I like and how I want to see through the camera. And I'll create these lookbooks, and then I'll create monologues. I'll type that on the Google Doc,
Is
and
it just
create
to capture
these.
that feeling?
Yeah, the essence of the
Yeah.
story keeps me inspired. Like, why do I do this? Because you know, part of me being a cinematographer, I'm learning many lives through other people's stories, but I'm trying to understand the meaning of life through film.
Yeah,
That's my
bro. I
journey.
say that. That's exactly me, bro. I'm not kidding.
Yeah,
Could
yeah.
you
So
explain that? I would like literally.
yeah,
Could you? Is it?
I can definitely explain that. Like understanding different personalities,
Mm,
understanding what ups and downs look like, understanding when two incompatible people are trying to work something out. Like that
yeah.
is seeing that in a movie is amazing, but also seeing that in person. Seeing that dynamic when things do work out.
Yeah.
I always say the good will always outweigh the bad because you know what's good.
100%.
That's always the greatest thing about the ending. Even if it ends
Yeah.
bad, there was some good in there. Yeah.
I think you wrote in your bio as well, like, or in your website. What was it? Cinema gives you many lives.
I
I'm
forgot.
finding it right now, dude. I have it pretty
Hey,
close by.
let me see. Oh, filmmaking is a chance to live many lives in many
Yeah.
lifetimes. Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
You want to elaborate or?
Yeah, I'm really just trying
Okay,
to
because
think
I'll
why.
tell you what, dude. I agree with that 1 billion%. I was
Mhm,
literally telling a friend of mine yesterday, like, there were so many things that I wanted to do when I was younger.
mhm,
Like, I was super into computer science, physics, math, and like, I wanted to make video games. And there
mhm.
were so many other things that I was good at, but like, the one that never, the one that basically kidnapped me was cinema. And
Yeah,
I literally told him, like, instead of getting to live one life, I've basically lived 10 right by now. Because, bro,
absolutely,
film has taken me to places that I never would have imagined to go, met people I would have never imagined to meet, like, experience things I would have never one day you're in the mountains under the freezing rain shooting 3 music videos in 2 days, and somewhere you'll never go to that place if it wasn't for a Ketu music video. You
Yeah,
know, and then
absolutely.
like 2 months later I was like a stunt driver in the desert, which I was not supposed to be, but it just kind of happened, and I was like this is yeah, I think it's fine if I say this. Yeah, it's like we were like drifting Land Rovers on like the cliff sides of mountains.
Oh, whoa.
Bro, it's crazy. And my only like the only reason I got hired was because of necessity and because of trust me, bro.
Mhm.
And I did
You
it, but
know what?
like,
I trust you to drive. After that one night, I trust I trust you to
wait,
be our
hold up.
driver.
Are you talking about the truck?
Yes, when Gabe was in the back, I think he was like asleep, and I was in the passenger
Oh no,
seat.
I know what you're talking about. When we went
Yeah,
from Malibu to like that hill by Gabe's house.
yeah, at Woodland Hills.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember that.
you know that. Now that I think about it, you know the scene from Prisoners when he's driving the little girl to the hospital.
Yeah.
That
No.
moment, that's exactly what it felt like.
What are you talking
That's
about?
that's what it felt like when we were going down to PCH, and then we hit the mountains. I was like, okay, this guy's a good driver.
I don't remember it being that intense. Because I
It
was
was.
talking to Amir on the phone and texting Salvale. So I have 2 phones and we're driving.
You should be a professional driver. Let's just say
Dude, yeah,
that.
after that, I remember everybody would tell, because so here's the funny thing.
Uh-huh.
Earlier in the day, I drove K2's manager. So K2's manager hopped in the car with me.
Hmm.
And we went from location 1 to location 2. Fine, whatever. We drive again, we do that drive. And then, do you remember the hilltop where we got that shot with K2 sitting on the car and there's the stars?
Yeah, that was amazing. That
Do
was
you
behind
remember
Gabe's
the
house.
U-Haul getting like stuck up the hill and we had to reverse it down?
That night I was scared. I was
Yeah.
like, if that rolls off the edge of the cliff, oh
Who do you
no, that's
think?
not
Do you remember who drove it down?
good. No, I was at the end. You did.
Yeah, bro.
Oh my
Our
God.
our truck driver, who I'm not gonna name him, but basically, no, dude, because he wasn't a truck driver. Like he's not a truck driver. He was a
Yeah.
grip. I can
Mhm.
blur this out. It was. Do you remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he basically in the location before when he was parking the truck, he like hit Gabe's neighbor's lamp and
Oh
like
wow.
popped it. So I knew he lost his confidence, like a
Yeah.
little bit. So we took that stupid truck up the hill because we couldn't lug all that equipment up. And then when it was time to take it down, he came up to me and his hands were shaking and he's like, "I'm not doing it." And this is a real safety problem.
Yeah.
And I'm the first AD, bro, so I can't tell my crew to do something like this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I was like, I've never driven a truck like that before. I'll do it. And I remember we took it step by step. I asked like 4 people to spot me. And the funny part about the story was K2's manager goes to Gabe after I drove him and he goes, "Bro, do not let that guy ever drive me again." Because he was scared for his life, apparently, like on the highway. And I
Mm.
told Gabe, like, if I take the truck down, I get to drive the BMW. You remember we had that BMW?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I got to drive the BMW, and the manager was like, "Who let you drive it?" And I'm like, "Gabe, bro." And he goes, "Why?" And I'm like, "I took the truck down." He goes, "Never mind, you're good." I'm like, "All right." Yeah, I feel like I earned everybody's trust as a driver. I don't know about an AD, but funny enough, I did that one gig as an AD
Mhm.
for the first time, and then after that, everybody called me as AD. Like I got so many phone calls as AD, which was sick,
You did a
which was really
phenomenal
fun.
job, by the way,
Thank
for
you,
for
brother.
that to be your first time. Yeah.
I'll still try to take that as a compliment. Thank you, brother.
You literally, quite literally made my life a lot easier. Because
Did
normally
I?
you have AD, yes, you have ADs like on your back. Hey, we gotta get this, we gotta get
No.
this.
You
It
know
was
why I
so
became an
smooth.
AD?
Why is
Because I
that?
fucking hate ADs. Because I've worked with so many bad ones, bro. And they all have it backwards. Every AD I've ever met is like so excited that they get to yell at people and like sort of like the joke is that they're always the ones like telling you to hurry up.
Yeah.
But it's the complete opposite, bro. Like this, how do I say this? they're not my crew in terms of like I'm above them. They're my crew as in like I serve them. I'm here to
Right.
make sure that we're eating on time, that they're being taken care of, that their safety's like everyone's safe, no one's possibly rolling a truck off a cliff or whatever, you know? And it's like
Right.
you're here to make sure the DP and director can get all their shots, not to jump on their back and tell them we don't have time for this shot, and we don't have time for this setup, and we don't have, you know?
Right.
Figure
Yeah.
it the hell out. Like everything is planned in pre-production. Once you get to set, that's it. Like you're in the middle of war. You can't like restructure the day. So if you
Right.
failed in pre-production, then yeah, then you show up to everybody and be like, yeah, hey, we don't have time for this. We don't have time for that. And I don't even think we went into overtime on K2, bro.
No,
I
not
think
at
we went
all.
like 30 minutes just for that extra pool shot, but we already wrapped the whole crew where he like
Hmm.
falls into the pool.
Yeah. That was insane, by the way. That was a really
Mm.
cold night for him to do that.
Yep.
That was, yeah. I don't think that pool was heated either.
No, it wasn't. He just took it like a champ, dude.
Yeah.
Um, what was your favorite project between all the ones you did with like during that time? Did you prefer like K2 or Show Me Something, or were you on Eye to Eye?
No, I don't think I was on eye to eye.
Because I met you as a gaffer before, I think. I'm like 99% sure I met you as a gaffer
You
on
definitely
one of the.
did. Yeah, I don't remember a lot of my gaffing jobs actually.
Me
Sadly to
neither, bro.
say.
I forgot that you were a gaffer until you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Because the
I
funny
I
thing
was
is, sorry, go
no, no,
ahead.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I met you as a DP on Show Me Something,
Mhm.
and it was Thanksgiving weekend.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I remember that because I booked a vacation, and then Amir, not a vacation, but I booked to go have Thanksgiving with a friend of mine. And then
Mhm.
Amir texted me like 2 days before, like, yo, I got a shoot for you as a second AC, uh, Dreamville. And it was a non refundable ticket, so I made no money off of that shoot.
Oh,
And I
wow.
immediately just texted him, lock me in. And bro, I was so happy to do it. I had so much fun on Show Me Something.
Yeah.
Like all of
That
these
was my
sets were so
favorite.
good.
Yeah. Show me something really because the caliber of the artist, and it was I think it was my first time actually DPing a high-end artist like that.
Okay.
And the way I captured it was just like if I was doing a movie, and I wasn't nervous at all. I was like, okay, we got this. And me and Gabe are such good collaborators. Like we were really
Bro,
bros,
I
and
know.
he was like, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah.
I remember I think it maybe was one of my first times working with a higher end artist, especially in such proximity. And
Hmm.
also it was like one of my earlier second AC gigs, and I was pretty nervous. I remember I was getting a filter or something, and I forgot something because I was nervous. And you were just like, "Yo, there's no rush. There's nothing happening right here. Like, there's nothing special. Just do your
Yeah.
job. Take it. You forget it. Whatever." I remember that just calmed me like all the way down, and I'm like, "You're right, dude. Who cares? Like I'm
Yeah.
here to do my job. It's nothing's changed, you know."
Yeah.
But I
I,
remember I
I,
loved
I
that, bro. That laundry
yeah.
set looks so good. Do
It
you
was
remember
it
that?
was incredible. Yeah, I was like, that was the only one thing I was stressing out about because I was like, please don't flicker. But I told Gabe, I said, I need a laundromat full of fluorescent tubes in the ceiling because I will save us so much time.
Uh huh.
And he found it. And I was like, yes, let's go. And I walked in there. I was like, okay, this is gonna be a cake walk
It was
easily.
so smooth, bro. I think we shot Boz in like 2 hours, maybe less.
Maybe less. I think we did it in like an hour and 30 minutes.
We literally did the hallway shot where we were already
Yeah.
there waiting for him to show up, and we just told him walk down the hallway.
Yeah.
And then we just went into the. Yeah, dude. I don't even think it was an hour. That's insane, bro.
Yeah. That was
You
fun.
really
That
are
was
like a Roger. No, I'm kidding.
yeah.
That was fun, dude.
Yeah.
I still look back at all those shoots we did with Puzzle, and I'm pretty sure those are still all my favorites, bro.
Yeah. That shaped my career, to be honest. If it wasn't for those
Really.
guys, I don't know where I would yet as a cinematographer. Because after that, after
Shout
I
out
shot,
Puzzle.
shout out puzzles. After I shot that project and the K2 project, I then got called to start shooting other celebrities.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Sabby, like personally requested me. So Gorilla
Whoa.
Hollywood is who I started. Well, obviously I was working with Gorilla Hollywood, but they
Oh, you
started
used to
picking me
work with
for.
Gorilla?
Yeah,
Is
well, I
that how
still
you met
do.
Gabe?
No, I met Gabe first, and we did this. I forgot. I was like gripping on this music video in
Yeah.
Azusa. I think it was for Major and this other big artist. I forgot.
Okay.
And then I met Mike there.
Because I never
Yeah.
met Mike, but I know that Gabe used to work with Mike for a long time before I even met him.
Right. Yeah. So
So
he
it,
saw us. He saw me like do those music videos, and he started calling me. He's like, "Yeah, you're my guy." And I was also gaffing for him before, but I
hmm
fully transitioned as a DP with him, and I was shooting. I shot a Netflix series with them.
Yo, sick,
I
dude.
was second unit DP. I was technically main unit DP because, they wanted a older guy that was experienced to light the
Yeah.
set, but I was pretty much main DP. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was
Um,
like, I could have done this.
yeah, dude. Gabe on Puzzle gave me my first focus puller gig. Puzzle
Yeah,
gave me my first AD gig. Like Puzzle put me on, bro. Like they gave me opportunities, and I'm forever thankful for those guys. And by the way, I'm
yeah.
I'm having Gabe on the show on Monday.
Oh wow,
So
tell him I said
yeah,
hello.
I will, dude.
Yeah.
That should be a good one, dude. Um, I gotta ask you this: what's a common mistake you keep seeing younger and newer cinematographers make?
Oof. Can I be brutally honest?
Please do, bro. Shooting verticals?
That I don't see much personality in a lot of younger filmmakers' work because they're,
I
in my
100% agree.
they're just copying what they see because they think that is pretty. But
Yep.
what is pretty, I don't see any personality. I don't see any substance when I'm looking at this. I just see, oh, film emulation, soft lighting, LEDs, rock star. I'm a rock star. Me, 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 me. But I don't really see anybody pushing the limits. I really don't. And I mean, obviously I'm not there, but I don't get excited to see a lot of this stuff because I know the colorist is fixing all of it behind the scenes. Productions are rushing them. They have small budgets,
Yeah,
but I want to see young cinematographers do their own thing and define what their own thing is, because I feel like filmmaking is struggling right now significantly
I agree.
because you don't
100%.
have cinematographers like me, and I think I've lost out on a lot of jobs because I'm not willing just to pick up a camera and point it. I need to know why, how much time I got, how long is this shoot going to be, and I'm going to tell them, okay, I need this team. I need this big team, and I need this. What you see on my website, what you see in my reel, that took a lot. And people like me lose their jobs or lose opportunity because we're always trying to push the limit. Every
Yeah.
film, every project, like Sink or Sin, good example.
Okay.
I never put 22Ks in the ceiling. Do you know how much distribution? And I had two 9 light maxis and 5Ks and these big sets,
Mm-hmm.
and I had everything, everything. And I pushed the limit, and everybody else was scared. Like, yo, are we gonna lose money? Are we
Okay.
gonna lose money? That was the number one thing. Are we gonna lose time? I don't. The number one thing you always hear when I was going up in my DP career. Do we need all this?
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
here. I'm here for a reason.
I know.
It's something too. I want to start seeing more cinematographers use this.
Yeah, they're
I
ready.
need them to bring this back. This
Wait, is
back.
that? Hold up. Do you not see cinematographers using that anymore?
No. A
Maybe I
lot of
just
them just
came up
look
with the
at the
right guys,
monitor.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them just look at the monitor, and if correct me if I'm wrong, they a lot of them look at the monitor. I'm like, okay, we're good. And then the colors will fix it. Okay, that window's blown out. We'll fix it later.
We'll just fix it later.
Or false color. I mean, false color is great, but this is accurate, scientifically accurate. Yeah.
That's hilarious, dude. No, but I agree, dude. Would you agree that like film is becoming more formulaic? Like it's just all about. I feel like marketing won. I feel like there's no more character. It's just all about get it done for as little as you
Mhm.
can, as quick as possible, for the
Yeah.
highest return, to shove it on TikTok. I don't know.
Yeah.
Most films suck. Most films come out for 3 days before they go to streaming on your refrigerator.
That's
I'm not a
insane. You
fan
can
of that.
watch a movie on your refrigerator too.
That's gonna
Um,
happen, dude. That's gonna
you
happen.
know, I actually think there is no more formula. I think filmmakers like myself and all my other collaborators, we're still holding on to that old way of filmmaking. I
Yeah,
feel like people are just freeballing it, and it's like, hey, well, we'll see what we get, And I think people don't, and I don't like to speak for everybody, but from my perspective, I don't feel like filmmakers is fighting as hard to say no, because at the end of the day, people have to live, they have to pay
yeah.
bills, and they have to survive. But I'm willing to say no. I'm willing to lose the food off my table because I believe in something so much. Because I won't just accept anything. Because if I did accept anything, would my art be the way it is now? No. I'll just be another guy that can pick up a camera and put good lights and collect a check and go home. But that's not what I'm here for. That's not what I got in the industry to do. I want to tell very good stories that I can look back 40 years from now and show my grandkids and my kids. That's an important film. Why did you pick that film? Why did you pick that script? Why did you pick that story? Why did you choose to work with this collaborator? That's the most important thing to me. It's not about getting a pack on the back or getting any awards. I haven't won any awards as a cinematographer yet. I have so many of my cinematography friends like, dang, we all wanted awards, but you, when are you gonna get
What
your
kind
award?
of
I was like, eh.
what kind of awards were they winning though?
Festival awards, and they're doing phenomenal. They're amazing though. They're
Yeah, but
amazing.
like, do you care about awards?
No, not at all. I care
Yeah,
about that
bro. I
film
know.
finishing.
Yeah, there you go.
I want to see it on the big
That's the
screen.
award, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know how many times like films don't make it to the big screen because it's like they ran out of money or the the filmmaker doesn't feel confident enough to release that, even though it's a phenomenal film. I worked with
Wait,
a
is
director
is it
that's
is it that often? Because
yeah,
I thought that was more of a rare case.
it's quite often. Like I can tell you right now.
Like, have you had a personal experience with that?
My best friend, he's a director, and I remember I helped him shoot his first film, and he never released it, but we showed it in the theaters in front of everybody, and it was the best film, and people were like, "Whoa, that was incredible." And the
And he
hardships that we
didn't
went
release
through,
it.
they did not release it, and that was 6 years ago. No,
Oh
yeah,
man,
6 years ago. To this day, I haven't released it, and it's actually on my Instagram. Like the stills. Yeah.
why didn't he release it?
Um, something about filmmakers like myself. We're perfectionists.
Mm-hmm.
The friend group that I have, we're perfectionists in a way, and he felt like we could do more, and I do agree, but I think there's a time you just have to let go and let the world see what you have in your brain and what you
Yeah,
put on the screen. You can't always make an Oscar movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, but I do get that because especially in the beginning, it's like whatever you make is sort of what people used to define you.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
oh, that's it, you know.
yeah.
So it's a little bit intimidating on what you choose to release, especially when it's not as good as you would hope it to be,
Right.
at
Yeah.
least.
There'll be times I'll be afraid to like post some of my stuff on Instagram, not because I cared what other people think, but how I felt. I didn't feel it. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know. But then I start posting stuff on my stories, and people's like, "Why haven't you posted this? This is amazing." I'm like, it's kind of like being an like like a musician, and they have so many unreleased songs.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how it is with me.
What keeps you going? What keeps you in the game? Like, what keeps you from leaving the industry?
Knowing that I spent 10 years working to get to where I need to be at, and
Yeah.
people like myself really, especially the way I came up too, because I came up before YouTube was even big, like before social media was big. I was, yeah, 2014, the industry was still fairly new to this new digital medium. Because I
Yeah.
think 2010 or 11 is when the Alexa came out, the digital Alexa camera. No, I think it was 2011. Yeah. So it was still fairly new. And I know I'm gonna do really good and go very far. I just keep pushing, man, because it's fun. I think about it. There's times where I literally try to put down filmmaking and take a
You've tried.
hiatus. I tried. I've literally tried to put it down. and I always come
And you
back.
failed?
I failed. I would go and play video games for 3 months and not think about filmmaking because I got burnt out and stressed, and then all of a sudden I'm back. I'm like, yeah, I like this.
That's awesome, dude. How do you
Yeah,
deal with burnout? How do you deal with those low phases?
just take a step back, go enjoy
Yeah,
life. I think, being a young filmmaker, typically you don't have enough time, you have a lot of money, or you have a lot of time and not enough money.
that's exactly it, bro. That's been my life like the last 5 years.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So as I gotten older, and I'm gonna be 30 in 2 years. I just learned to calm down. Just calm down. It's gonna come. You don't need to
Yeah.
rush it. Enjoy life while it is. Because I look back now. I worked so hard to get to where I need to be at. But I don't remember anything in my 20s unless it's a project.
Oh, tell me about it, bro. That's like the way I'm defined those years.
Yeah,
Every year is
yeah,
defined by the work you did.
yeah,
I know
absolutely.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
What are your thoughts on like, so do you try not to compare yourself to other people?
yeah. I don't want to do that. I want
I
to be
feel like that's
me.
the ultimate poison.
The ultimate poison. I was talking to a fellow friend, filmmaker. I was like, dude, I want to be that African American guy that shoots a World War II movie or World War I movie. I
Oh,
don't
I
want to just
love World War movies, bro. Yeah, sorry.
yeah. I don't want to shoot a slave movie or anything that's stereotypical because I happen to be of the demographic. I just want to go shoot things I want to go shoot a Russian film. How cool
Yeah.
that'd be. I don't
Okay.
speak any Russian, but I can still do it. There's no limitations like, oh yeah, you're not Russian. You can't do it. Yeah.
What was the question? What? Bro, you lost me so far. I mean, it's a great answer, but I'm like, what did I ask him? All right,
It was so good that I got so into it.
bro, you sucked us both into it. Oh man. I asked you if you compare yourself to other people. Phenomenal answer, bro. I gotta say. No, because even like there's that clip in that awesome documentary. I can't remember its name. About those musicians in HBO and Jimmy Iovine, the guy who
Yeah.
like one of the biggest people in music ever, said like anybody who's pursuing a creative career has to put on what those horses have in the races, where they
Hmm.
can't see shit except for the way ahead. I
Yeah.
think that's super true, man. Every time I hate social media because every time you open it, you just see other people, and I don't know, you just get jealous so quickly. At least in my case, right? Because I'm a very
I
competitive
stay off
person, but
social media. I stay off because it's like filmmaking is not competitive in my perspective. It's just
no,
like
right? I know.
I get on social media. I'm like, I'm not working. All right, I'm gonna get off because all these
Yeah,
amazing filmmakers are doing great. But you have to be a little delusional too
a hundred
to be a
percent.
filmmaker. You have to be.
But
It's
you can
crazy,
explain that in your way if you'd like to.
Someone once said, with you, you're an all or nothing person. And you have to be that way in filmmaking. You can't go halfway. If you're going to work in this industry, you got to jump full fledged, jump
Yeah,
off the cliff. Just do it.
yeah, I
It's
agree.
going to be rewarding, but you have to do it at a high level. And I think some people don't want to do that at a high level. That's okay, but I
What do
do.
you mean do it at a high level?
I want to work in the studio world. I
Oh yeah, I
quite
agree.
do that. Yeah.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
Also, like it's the easiest way to think about it for me is like I'm kind of forced to go all the way just because of all the shit that I've put in already.
Hmm.
Like I didn't do all that just to take a bronze. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I didn't
absolutely not.
sacrifice all those things in my life to be like, thank you for the silver medal, and then
Yeah.
fuck off into the sunset or whatever.
Hmm.
But but yeah, no, dude, it's interesting. Are you like optimistic or pessimistic about the industry, future
I'm
wise?
optimistic.
I gotta say, me too. By the way, even though everything's never been worse in my opinion,
Mhm.
because everybody I talk to, I don't, maybe just the people I'm around seem like true filmmakers that really
Yeah.
want to tell like human stories that matter and like
Absolutely.
not the 15th James Bond spinoff or whatever. You know what I mean? Not
It's
that that's
great if you
wrong,
do it
but like,
correctly. Yeah.
yeah. No, I mean now because Amazon got the rights, the creative rights to James Bond like a week ago.
Oh, got you. Wow, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
The two people who had the creative rights the whole time stepped down and they finally gave it
Wow.
up to MGM. So it's game over for those guys. Did you ever do first and second AC work?
Only one time. It was on my
Second or first?
second.
Okay.
Yeah, it was on my second feature actually. And I went from a PA to a second AC,
Oh yeah.
and that was fun. That was fun, yeah. That
I
was
had
the
the
first
same
time I
transition, by
ever
the way. Yeah.
And you know, if you start off as a PA and you work into a like a leading position, that's really good because you learn everybody else's job too.
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
100%. Um, so how did like working in other positions on set help you when you made a transition to a DP?
Oh, it helped me so much. I think like for instance, the grip and gaffing work, I know exactly like when I get on a project, I've already had the plans and I know exactly where I want everything and what it needs. Now the little things I'll leave it up to my department heads, but I'm always creating diagrams. And they were like, wow. Like I had one of the gaffers I worked with on this music video. He said, "You're a units DP," and I was like, "What do you mean by that?" He's like, "You know exactly what units you want." Like I don't work with too many cinematographers nowadays that cares about that stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm very specific because I believe in quality of light, and I know how
Quality of
certain
light.
lights work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. How certain instruments project itself and how
Do
it
you
looks
think
on
that's
scan.
do you think that's a necessary skill DPs have to have is like to have a creative mind but to also know how to translate that on a technical level?
It really depends who that person is. I personally would say yes, but at the same time, there's some DPs that just are really good at framing a shot and picking colors and then letting their team just do it for them. It just really
Mm.
depends.
And what advice would you have for someone who's like maybe working as a second AC or a spark that wants to transition into cinematography?
I would say make sure your finances is right before you make that jump. It's gonna be
Okay.
hard because there was three
Yeah.
months where I was not working at all when I made that jump. And when you do it, just go full fledged. You just tell people, "Hey, I'm a cinematographer now." You might have to do a couple of free jobs
Mm.
just to get your rankings, but just
Yeah.
just do it, go for it, and don't look back. Yeah, don't look back.
Yeah, all in, huh? All or nothing.
All or nothing. Hopefully,
Um,
hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps. But yeah,
you
that's
know
just
what's
kind of.
you know what's funny is I've been around I have a little sister who's in school
Hmm.
and a lot of her friends find my Instagram and they're like, "What?" Like they really like the kind of work that I do. So
Hmm.
now I've been around a lot of like high schoolers who are like interested in filmmaking and
Hmm.
a lot of them are like interested in pursuing it. And my very honest opinion that I give them sometimes is like, if you can imagine yourself doing anything else in life, do that.
Exactly.
Because you'll probably quit. That's
Hmm.
one. And then two, it's like just the most unforgiving career path, I think, with no
Yeah.
rhyme or reason at times. But do you
Right.
agree with that? Like, if you could do anything else,
Absolutely.
can you do anything else with your life?
Absolutely. I
Like,
want to get
would
into
you?
real estate. I would 100%, but I wouldn't quit the industry. I'll just
Okay,
put it to the side until
okay.
they call me and they're like, "Hey," but I would go do real estate and do entrepreneurship. Absolutely.
Damn, I can't do anything, dude. But
I
while I'm
think
doing
you can.
this,
I don't think that you
oh, it's not
can
about
correct
being
me if I'm wrong.
incapable.
Yeah.
It's just that like I just meant like I could definitely put this on the side
Yeah.
and pursue other stuff, but I don't know if I can ever quit, dude. I don't know if that's. But I even did that for a bit, by the way. So I went to Dubai for 4 months, and I worked in um I worked for an entrepreneur slash like famous podcast host. He's like one of the bigger people in the Middle East, and I was like his front man for all media. like daily Instagram posts, and then like the monthly YouTube videos and the bi-weekly and all the sponsorship posts and all that stuff. And it was literally like a one-man department, but like I couldn't do that for more than 3-4 months because I
Wow.
just needed to get back to being on set, dude. Like I, even though the money was amazing and the people I worked with were great and everything, it's just like I actually couldn't do it, even though a lot of people in my life think that's the stupidest decision I will ever make is walking away from something like that. But
Yeah.
back to cinematography questions.
No, you're
Because
good.
I don't know
I
how
just
to
want
pivot from there.
I want to say this though. One thing though, it's about being fulfilled, and
Yeah, that's the thing.
being in this industry. A lot of people are not going to understand this career path. My family still to this day don't understand it.
Yeah,
But if you do, and you fully believe it in your heart, oh,
yeah,
you got something. If that's all you can see, do it. I'm telling you, it's gonna pay off. It might take 10 years, 15 years, maybe
yeah.
20, but do it. Trust me. Yeah,
It is the most rewarding career I think of all time. I think it's the coolest job on planet Earth
absolutely.
by
And then the
by
world
one
gets to see what
billion,
you
bro.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
like not even close.
yeah.
Um, how do you feel about LED volume stages and like virtual production? Something you're interested in or not really? Because I know earlier you were
Um,
talking about how you like being on location because of authenticity.
yeah. I used the volume mode one time for a music video, but it was like more of a like artsy abstract type of way.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has its limitations, but if it's grounded to a specific story, maybe. There was a feature that was shot on a volume where it was like literally you're in a taxi cab, and I use that. I think it's
Was
completely
that the Dakota
practical.
Johnson one with Sean Penn?
I think so. I think so. I'm not
Probably,
100%
yeah.
sure.
Because the whole thing took place in that cab.
Yeah, yeah. But I think it has its place, but I don't think it's gonna replace anything. It's just another tool in the toolbox. It's very
Is it
expensive right
something?
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that something you'd like to use more often or not really? Like, would you
Um,
prefer if a producer told you that you could use it? Would you rather be on location or just use the volume? What would that depend on for you? Like, what would that make or break for you?
I think I'd rather just be on location, to be honest. You get to see the new different landscapes, you get to travel the world, you just get to see new
Yeah.
things, right? You know, being cooped up inside of a studio all day and then you're looking at this artificial world can you can lose a little bit. You can lose a little of yourself a little bit inside that soundstage. You're showing up 30 days in a row on a soundstage looking at an LED
Yeah.
wall and you just see cars going by. It's the same cars for the next 12 hours. That would drive me nuts.
No, I agree 100%, dude.
Yeah,
I've done
yeah.
work on like green screen. Like, we've done green screen shoot days a lot.
Uh-huh.
Fuck if there's anything more boring than that, man.
I did a TV pilot actually. It was a sci-fi TV pilot. It was 30 minutes. And we would do on location stuff with these cyber police cars and everything. But then when we went on the actual sound stage for the green screen, I was just looking at the VFX supervisor and I was like, all right, there's a cop car right here. There's some cones here. You just have to imagine it, and it's this green tape. And I'm just shooting. I'm like, I don't even know where anything is at. You're just looking at a green wall, and the cops are kneeling, and like, yeah, there's a person here. I'm like, okay. I was like, okay, I guess so. But I'm just like, whoa, this is quite liberating.
Liberating.
Yeah,
Yeah, by the way, speaking of that, because like in such a short time, I think you've gone from like smaller projects to way bigger projects.
yeah,
Because when we worked together, it was like smaller scale music videos. And now
yeah,
I know you're attached to bigger features that you've mentioned that you've sent me over text,
yeah.
um, with bigger studios, bigger names. How is that
Hmm.
transition for you? Are there anything like, is it like, how is that treating you so far? Is it as you expected or
Um, it's definitely what I expected, but
what
it's
do
a
you mean by that?
slow burn.
Yeah.
I knew the slow burn was gonna come. Like, okay, it's a great opportunity, but it's not gonna happen right now, because everything with the strikes and
Yeah.
they're trying to like recover. I just knew that was gonna happen. But sitting down with those directors and spending that downtime and talking about the script. I think there was one director for the Alone, that's the
Uh-huh.
space movie. We stayed up till like 4 o'clock in the morning every day, sometimes even 7 in the morning, going through the script, rewriting it, talking about what we see, how we see it, does it make sense? And I never really, there's only two directors I've had that actually allowed me in the writing room with them, and they wanted to
Okay.
actually get my perspective. And I was like, well, this is kind of cool. And we finally finished that script, and yeah, we're gonna get it made.
Sick,
I
dude.
can't go too much into it, but there, it's gonna be phenomenal.
Is there a lot more waiting when like there definitely is, but like how is that treating you? Because I know bigger steps, take bigger time.
Yeah,
I
it
can't
taught me
speak English right
patience.
now,
No, you're
but
fine. You're fine. It has taught me patience,
okay.
and knowing that it's already there for me, it just needs to fall in line with its
Mm.
own self.
So you're not
Um,
anxious or anything. You're just waiting for it to come.
no, I was born for this.
Yeah.
The director of Alone, he came to me. He said, this film is perfect for you. It's a
Really?
space movie. I think that we want to shoot it on 65.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's like, this is perfect. It takes place in a cockpit up in space, but also on Earth too. And it's amazing. I don't think it's a film you've ever seen. And it's very simple and it's a character-based story.
You posted something on your Instagram story, I think like 2 years ago. Don't ask me why I remember this. You said I'm done doing short films. Am I wrong?
That wasn't 2 years ago. That was 6 months ago. But yeah, I'm done.
Never mind. But I'm still right. Yeah, is
Yeah,
that still something you're opposed to doing, and why?
I'm just done. I just feel like there's so many limitations with short films. Every
Okay.
short film I've done, I just feel like I couldn't fully express who I was as an artist.
Yeah,
And working in the indie world, it's you don't have that many resources, and I love
absolutely.
having resources. I'm not a
Okay.
I'm not a cinematographer that is getting all the bells and whistles and the cool toys. I get exactly what I need, but doing short films, you can't get exactly what you need. So I you
I
know
mean, but there's
it
always going to be a lack of something, right?
yeah, yeah. I just think I got really burnt out on short films. I really did. I want to do a long form. That's something that I really strive for.
Yeah.
Um, it's also kind of like you go shoot a short film for 3 days and you're done. I'm like, oh
Yeah, I
wow,
know.
that was a quick burn. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I also
That
know what it's like to be on a feature for 90 days.
yeah.
That's amazing.
It's awesome, dude. I didn't do a feature, but I did one um TV show for 2 months. That was
Yeah.
awesome, dude.
Were you on the same TV show that we did with Gabe that I DP'd?
No, I had already
Oh,
left America by then.
got you. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So basically my visa ended because I'm a Canadian.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, I had to dip, and I didn't know where to go for a while, and then I I accidentally went on tour with a DJ. And I'll tell you what I mean by accidentally. I DM'd him one night, like, "Yo, do you want a videographer for like next week?" And I had never done a videographer gig before, so I'm like, "I'll just do it for free, right?"
Yeah.
So I shoot the video for him. He likes it so much he pays me for it. It becomes his most watched reel instantly.
Oh wow.
And then we shoot together in Qatar, where the World Cup happened, and then Dubai. And then I was in Dubai for 2 weeks, just crashing at a friend's place because I still
Yeah.
didn't know where to go. And she was like, "You should apply for this job because I think you'd like it." And I applied for it, and for some reason I got it. And then they
Wow.
tried to lowball me. And in the email, I just wrote "no thanks" dot, and they said, "Okay, fine, we'll give you whatever you want." And I just stayed there for like 3 months, and then
Mhm.
I spent the summer seeing family again, and then at the end of summer, I moved to London, and that's where I've been since.
Wow. And that's where
But
you're at now.
yeah, I'm in London right now. Can't you tell how dark it
Wow. No, it looks
is?
it looks like daytime like where I'm at. It's so crazy. It's
Oh no, yeah,
it's so amazing when you leave the foundation that you were born and raised at and you
yeah,
see the world. Oh my
yeah.
God. I wish I can tell you one thing, filmmakers, please do that. Move out of the state you lived in and just go spend a year in another state. I promise you, you're gonna have a different perspective of life. And if you can go outside the country, even better. Do it.
I I have a slightly different perspective. So I
Really.
left the house when I was 17, and I've moved countries about 20 times since then.
Oh wow, you had a great life.
No, I didn't.
No, really.
It wasn't like I moved because of this. It was like you had to leave because like COVID, because
Mhm.
billion reasons, right? My personal life's been like a curveball after curveball, and like restarting over and over again. Like the film business is all about who you know, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So the hardest part is to break in. And I've been repeating that process. So like London is now the new base where I'll be here for quite a couple of years. That's for sure. At least like living wise, right?
Right.
But no, dude, I think like if you're gonna go to college for film, make sure that's a city you want to live in. Because the
Yeah.
last thing you want to do is go to college there and be like, okay, I studied in Kansas, but I actually want to work in Australia. You're gonna
Mhm.
show up to Australia and not know anybody when you could have been networking for like 4 years. And because
Right.
that's how I got all the work. It's just the people I met during college. Like even Gabe was one of those people who I like,
Yeah.
because Amir introduced me to Gabe, and Amir was my
Yeah.
roommate at CSUN. So there's a balance, I think, for sure. Definitely go see the world. Like I really believe all filmmakers need life experience. Like you need to let life happen to you.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I'm a little bit biased about the about the leave, just because I've been leaving for
I was just so used to California. California has everything. You have the mountains, the
yeah,
beach, the desert, the woods.
yeah.
I'm like, wow.
So you're
Yeah.
in Florida right now.
Yeah.
How's
Port St.
Florida, bro?
Lucie. It's amazing. I love it.
Really?
I love it.
How's the weather,
It's like California weather. It's weird because
bro?
this specific spot in Florida is like California, but there's no mountains. It's all flat.
Okay,
It's a very family-oriented city, and it's very high scale, and
yeah,
it's very protected. It's amazing. Like outside my window, I have a big lake with a fountain, and there's ducks in there. I can just go out on my balcony and watch. It's just
sick,
amazing.
dude. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
We don't see the sun here. We see the sun once every 2 weeks. It's
That's a perfect place to shoot a movie.
bro. I know DPs complain
Yeah,
when the sun comes out, but it's also horrifyingly depressing when
really.
when you don't see
Wow.
the sun. Nah, I mean you get used to it,
Mhm.
but yeah, no, it's definitely been interesting. I hate this question, but I gotta ask it to you. What are your thoughts on AI and like having an impact on cinematography?
Yeah, I don't think we should use it at all. I really
What?
don't think so. I think
No,
that
not if we should use it. What do you think of the impact it will have? You think?
the impact. It have a significant impact, and we're already seeing it now. VFX artists are losing their jobs.
Yeah.
Um, Post houses are closing down. Even companies are starting to use AI and replace people. They don't even want to hire voice actors. They'll just use an AI and just say, okay, we'll just use that,
Yep.
and it will type whatever we needed to say, and it still doesn't feel authentic. You
They
can
don't
tell
care.
it's a robot. They don't care. They want to make their money. So it's just,
But how do you think that's going to impact cinematography, or will it impact
I
cinematography?
don't think it's going to impact cinematography. I just don't
Okay.
think so. Not
What
not
about
for another 20 years.
what about all these AIs that can like generate a whole movie from scratch from a prompt that we're already seeing, by the way?
I gotta see one of those. I haven't seen it yet, but
You should see
I
some of them because they're crazy.
are they that good?
It. I'll tell you what it is. Knowing how fast the rate of progression is, it's scary to
Yeah.
see where we're already at.
Oh
That's
wow.
what bothers me
Yeah.
because the progression gets even faster. I don't know. I'm hopeful, but I'm not sure,
I
dude.
think people really want to experience human connection, and I just don't think you can do that through AI. You'll always know it's artificial,
100%
unless it's really good. But AI is still in its early stages.
for now.
Yeah, for now.
That's the
Hopefully, it
scary
stays
part.
like this forever. So it's like, yeah, it's a little jagged.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah,
Hopefully, it progresses backwards.
yeah.
I
Hopefully,
mean, by the way, I gotta ask you a random question. Have you read The Fountainhead?
no, not at all.
I think that's a book everybody should read, and I'm only asking you this because your philosophy on the jobs you say yes and no to is kind of what the entire book is about. It's a book about an architect. So I think it's the best book of the 20th century.
Really?
So,
Okay, you have to say
yeah,
that.
no, but it's I don't have it here, but it's like 700 pages. So it's not like something you'd like. If you can get through it, it's like the most rewarding thing of all time. But
Yeah.
I'm out of questions. So I'm still new to this podcast thing, something I was really hoping to do by now, but I haven't figured it out yet. But I'd love to have you back on where I can go through things you shot and we can like do breakdowns, shot breakdowns.
Yeah.
I think that would be a lot of fun, dude. I just have to figure out a way for us to both see it and record everything properly, and because that's still screwing up for me.
Yeah, this is like my second one too to do, and I think as we go on for our careers, we're just gonna get better at speaking and all this.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Oh no, come on, dude. Why are you nervous, dude? If it makes you feel any better, no one's gonna watch this.
Oh, they will, 100% will. They will.
I mean, I'll tell you what it is. They're gonna see it on Instagram and TikTok and stuff because I'm gonna make like a lot of clips out of these.
Yeah.
But for the YouTube, I mean, it's still like a fresh account. You never know.
Appreciate you. Thank you for allowing me to have this opportunity. And
No,
I'm
thank you,
looking
brother.
forward to see it.
I appreciate it.
You.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good one.
Stay safe. Yeah, you too,
Peace.
brother.